Hey guys, this is WWE Rocker K here, back with another video. In today's review of NXT Takeover The End. This is the main pay-per-view they've been leading up to. Well, NXT doesn't really have pay-per-views, but that's their version of a pay-per-view, that's why I call it that. They hyped the Samoa Joe Finn Balor cage match for over a month, and that match was really good, honestly. They both got to hit their finishers. They both really got to show off their style. There were submissions from Samoa Joe. Finn Balor got to do his aerial assault on Joe. And it really definitely showed off the best of their talent they had. The match ended, which I thought was going to be in a different way. Finn goes to go up to the top of the cage. Thought he was going to do a coup de grace on Samoa Joe and win the match, but no, Joe ends up catching him and putting him into the Samoa submission machine, or no, Samoa Buster, that's his finisher. Ends up putting it on him on round where the third rope is, just a little bit higher, hitting him off the ground, ended up beating Finn Balor. Finn Balor at the end of the show stayed down and acted like he was injured. I don't know if this is just his way to move to the main roster without it kind of seeming make it seem like he's injured at NXT and then make his debut on Raw. Kind of guessing that's where they're going with this, but I don't know for sure. We saw the Divas match, which was Asuka versus Nia Jax. Overall, it was a really pretty good Divas match. I really kind of wish it was Bayley versus Asuka, which was originally scheduled, but Nia Jax ended up taking over. Nia definitely did show her ability and did give Asuka a good run for her money, because Nia is just such a huge woman, and not like in a bad way, she's just built. And she can use her strength against Asuka, who uses her kicks and her speed. Nia is just a little bit slower and uses her strength, so you definitely have to see the two different sides there. But then, overall, pretty good match. Asuka ended up winning and retaining the title. I kind of think the only reason she did that is because NXT is going to Japan. Obviously, they're going to want Asuka champion going to Japan. Then we had the dream match, Nakamura versus Austin Aries. This was kind of the match I was looking forward to most on the show. I only saw one Nakamura match, which was NXT Takeover Dallas. And I was kind of on the borderline with him. And I was thinking, okay, if anyone could bring out the best, it's going to be Austin Aries, because I love that guy. And they tore down the house. That was honestly better than the Finn Balor Samoa Joe match. It's the same thing when Nakamura faced Sami Zayn. That was the best match on that show, too. I feel like whatever match they put Nakamura in ends up being the main event. They did hint to Samoa Joe versus Nakamura main eventing NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, which is their next big show. They had a thing with Triple H afterwards on Facebook where he said there's more divas coming in. Samoa Joe should keep his head on Nakamura, and there's going to be more talent to come, which I guess that's what the end means, that some talent's leaving, some isn't. The only other match, well, they had two more matches. They had the debut of, I can't remember this guy's name, but he went up against Ty Dillinger. Kind of a crappy match to start off the show, nothing impressive there. And then you had the tag team match, was American Alpha versus the Revivals. Really like American Alpha, hate the Revivals. Don't understand why they're putting in Revivals. If you look at Revivals, they look like a call you can make on the video game. You go in the video game, you hit automatic set status, you add a beard, and you add a little design to the tights, and boom, there's the rival. There's nothing good about them, there's nothing special about them, they're just plain to me. I just don't see why they're giving these guys the titles. They need something more. American Alpha losing the titles, I think, was a really stupid move on WWE to do that, unless they plan on splitting them up, which I don't see happening anytime soon. So overall, NXT The End was a pretty good show. Only one crappy match on the whole card, which is rare for an NXT event. There's nothing to the end other than Triple H saying that this is the end of them really having to solidify themselves. Now that they have, they can start a new beginning in their next era. So I guess the NXT Arrival era is gone, and now we're in a new era that Triple H hasn't named yet. So overall, I'm going to give this a NXT Takeover The End. It's going to have a 4 out of 5 stars. That's my review. You should like this video and subscribe to my channel, because always more to come.